Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. You loved them more than you loved yourself. You stayed, even when everything in you was breaking, because they weren't just someone you cared about. They were the echo of something older, a wound disguised as devotion. Sometimes, the person who hurts you is the same person who once made you feel safe. That's the paradox of trauma-bonded love. You mistake the cage for home. Nietzsche called it the will to power. But you were taught that love means sacrifice, endurance, disappearing for someone else's comfort. And when you finally try to leave, to breathe, to save yourself, guilt comes like a shadow. Not because you did something wrong, but because you're betraying a role you were never supposed to question. You feed the wolf that devours you because you were told it was loyalty. But what if love isn't feeding hunger that never ends? What if it's not losing yourself to prove your worth? If this touched something in you, write it below. Even if it's just one word, your story might be the echo someone else needs to feel seen. Revelação Psicológica Impactante. You are not cruel for walking away. You are healing the part of you that believed pain was proof of love. You are not broken. You are still reacting from a wound no one helped you name. And now, you are giving it a name. By saying no. By choosing the exit. By protecting what's left of your light. What if leaving isn't betrayal? What if it's the first time you were truly faithful to yourself? You don't need to suffer to prove you care. You don't need to stay to be worthy. Leaving is not failure. It's remembering who you were before the prison had a name. We are not only responsible for what we do, but also for what we inherit and choose not to pass on. Ivan Bosormenyi Nagy. That guilt you carry, it may not even be yours. It could be the weight of generations who never had the voice you now dare to use. Psychologist Ivan Bosormenyi Nagy called it invisible loyalty, a hidden contract with our ancestors to repeat their pain as proof of belonging. So when you chose to walk away, to set boundaries, to unlearn the narrative, you became the anomaly, the rupture. And anomalies are punished by those who fear the mirror of change. You left. And still, the guilt doesn't leave you. Not because you hurt someone, but because you dared to break a cycle everyone else called family. They taught you that silence was respect, that self-erasure was love, that duty meant staying, even when it shattered you from the inside. That guilt you carry? It may not even be yours. It could be the weight of generations who never had the voice you now dare to use. Psychologist Ivan Bosormenyi Nagy called it invisible loyalty, a hidden contract with our ancestors to repeat their pain as proof of belonging. So when you chose to walk away, to set boundaries, to unlearn the narrative, you became the anomaly, the rupture. And anomalies are punished by those who fear the mirror of change. You broke the mirror, the one everyone kept staring into, even though it was already cracked. They saw beauty in the fracture. You saw yourself bleeding. If this feels like your story, write "I broke the mirror" in the comments. Your truth may become someone else's permission. You don't owe your suffering to anyone who handed it to you as inheritance. Love is not measured by how much of yourself you lose. Breaking the cycle isn't rebellion. It's repair. It's reparenting. It's remembering that you are not a vessel for recycled pain. You are the ending of a story that harmed too many. And maybe they won't understand. Maybe they'll call you selfish, cruel, distant. But what if distance is the only way to love without repeating? You are not wrong for walking away. You are the first echo that chose silence over screams passed down.